What is up, guys? Godzilla here, and today I'm going to be comparing 3 6-inch scale Godzilla 2000s. Enjoy. So, this is something I haven't done before, but I'm probably gonna, it's probably not gonna be like a whole new series or anything, because I really only have 2, maybe 3 videos that I could potentially do this with. But basically these are just gonna be me looking at the ups and downs between each figure of a specific incarnation of kaiju in the same scale. So today is going to be Godzilla 2000, and I have 3 figures that I'm going to be looking at. First, I have the Bandai Japan Godzilla 2000. Next, I have the SH Monsterarts Godzilla 2000. And finally, I have the Bandai Creation Godzilla 2000. So these are probably the 3 most common ones out there. NECA hasn't made one. They're not, like, I mean, yeah, I guess there are a lot out there, but not many, but more than this. So, this is sort of going to be like a review, but I'm basically, instead of just talking about one individual figure, I'm actually going to be comparing the traits between the figures. So, first, I'm probably going to talk about movie accuracy. So, some of you may have already guessed, but obviously the most movie accurate one out of the bunch is the Bandai Japan. This is the Toho Kaiju series, by the way. There's also a memorial box version of this guy, which I could have used, but I don't have him. So yes, movie accuracy. This guy's probably most movie accurate, mainly in like the head and his posture. Also, his spines, maybe. I'll get to those. This guy makes an attempt to be movie accurate, but it fails in a few aspects. The head looks a little strange. I'm sorry the camera isn't focused very well. But the head looks a little bit strange. Not as strange as I claimed in my trash talk video, but it's still kinda different. Also, his posture, I mean, it looks kind of weird, to be honest. Like, the way he's bent over with his foot back, I wish they hadn't have done that. And you don't see him do that very much in the movie. But in the spines, yeah, I'll get to those later, like I said. And lastly, on the SH Monsterarts, it looks really good, but it's not movie accurate. That's because it's not supposed to be. This is like concept art. It's a Yuji Sakai sculpt, I'm pretty sure, so it looks different than the original. But it still looks 2000-esque, and it looks amazing nonetheless. It's just not movie accurate. So for movie accuracy, I'm gonna give it to this guy, obviously. So real quick, I want to talk about their spines for accuracy and overall appearance. So I'll kind of put them sideways like this. So we notice here that the Bandai Japan one, or the Bandai one, has like pinkish spines. They're bright, and down here they have some silver highlights, and then closer it's like black highlights. They look beautiful, but unfortunately they're not 100% accurate. Then back here we have this very nice murky purple color, and it fades into a black color that's the same color as his skin when it gets closer down to the body. Here, I'll bring this up so you can see it a little more. There we go, now we can see what I'm talking about. So yes, the color in here is just much better, the murkiness, like in here, and then the black muddy color down here. It looks great. And then also, to recap, here's the pink and the silver and the black like I was talking about right in there. These are both pretty sharp. Like the SH Monsterarts especially, he's really sharp in the spines. This guy not so much, mainly because he's vinyl. So, lastly, we're going to take a look at the Bandai Creation. Now, this guy's spines are a little bit smaller. The purple up here is a little more energetic, I would say, more than the SH Monsterarts, and they're also more glossy. I don't like it too much, and it's also not movie accurate. But they do have the same fading effect with, like, the purple transitioning into the black as it gets closer to the body. They're also not very sharp at all. I mean, I know that's something I shouldn't be too bothered about, but I kind of want them to be sharp, you know? That's how the actual suit looked. They were, like, so sharp in the actual suit. So for spines, as beautiful as the Bandai Japan looks, I'm going to have to give it to SH Monsterarts. They look fantastic. Let's see. I've already sort of talked about the head. So now, I guess I'll do articulation. Right off the bat, you guys know that SH Monsterarts is going to win. Because it's SH Monsterarts, it's got all this up here, and then the arms, and the wrists, the jaw, the tongue, legs, especially the tail. Yeah, just because this guy has a lot of articulation doesn't mean that these two suck. Okay, the thing is that Bandai Creation, Bandai Japan, and SH Monsterarts are all like different categories of figures. Like, I had someone tell me that NECA and Bandai Creation were competing to be the best, even though the SH Monsterarts and X Plus were already at the top, so there was no point. What I had to say to him was that, well, I didn't say this in the comment, but the way I'm going to explain it is like you kind of have to compare it to, say, wrestling. Real wrestling. In wrestling, you have like different weight divisions and size, so you'll have like small, medium, then huge. Here's the same thing. You've got your small division, because this only costs $12. You've got your medium division, because this is a decent sum of money, but it's a lot better. And then you've got your big division, where this guy is really good, but he's super expensive. And so you can't like say, I don't know why these guys are trying to be better than this guy. They're not. They're just trying to do the best with their budget or their price range. They can't make it too good while still keeping it below $20. So yeah, articulation on this guy wins, obviously. So for this, I'm just going to compare these two. For this guy, the arms move, it's a little stiff. Same with the legs. The tail moves 360, and this is an actual point of articulation instead of like just where you put it on. It is an actual place you're supposed to turn. On here, the arms move, the legs move. They're a lot less stiff, which I like. The tail moves only when you break the glue seal, but when you do move it, it makes a lot of noise, so there's really no point. So, between these two, I'm honestly going to have to give it to this guy, because out of the box, or out of the bag, or whatever, he comes with more articulation. Even though it's stiff, you can really go either way. I think for articulation between these two, it's really more preference. So that's articulation. One thing I want to mention with the SH Monsterarts, actually, is that this body joint right here is really loose once it breaks in. Like, I'm doing this with my hand and he's going back down. Like, just gonna barely touch him. Did you see that? Let me do it again. Hold on. Yeah, it's just really loose. I'm like doing this with no effort right now. It almost reminds me of like the Smash Strike Godzilla 2014. the way he's doing this. Anyway, so yeah. For articulation, it's going to go first place, second place, third place. Let me do that for the other categories too. For the spines, first place, second place, third place. Movie accuracy, first place, second place, third place. I'll do that from now on. Let's see what else is there to talk about. Detail. Now, some of you are probably going to be like, well, obviously SH Monsterarts wins. Look at that detail. Here's what I have to say. On the SH Monsterarts, the detail is more defined. Like, it like sticks out a lot more, you know? You can see how it looks almost like a very rough grit sandpaper. Whereas this guy, I'm honestly going to have to say there is more detail. Which is going to sound weird, but there is more detail. It's just not as defined. So, I'm going to bring it into the chest here really quick. If you get a nice good look at his chest, and I said this in my review too, you'll see there is actually detail on the detail. Like each one of these little bumps has tiny little specks on it. Same down here. Also, this one has what the other two don't have. It has these little things on his legs and on his shoulders. So yes, there is actually a lot of detail in this guy. Except for on the spines, they're kind of smooth. Whereas on the SH Monsterarts, when you get right down to it, there actually isn't as much detail, but it's way more defined. So it sort of creates that illusion. Also, his spines are a lot more detailed. Real quick, let's take a look at the Bandai creation. He doesn't have that much detail, and it's not well defined either. It looks good though for a Bandai creation. I'm not gonna say that much about it. It looks pretty good. For detail, honestly, I'm going to have to make it a tie between these two and this guy coming in second. This guy suffices, you know, it's pretty good, but these two just blow it out of the water. Fantastic. Let's see, what else is there to talk about? I mean, okay, so, real quick I'll just talk about rarity and price. So, the cheapest and easiest to find is obviously this guy. Find him for $12 at Toys R Us. I'd say you get what you pay for. $12 seems pretty good, but not rare at all. This guy, he is a lot harder to find actually, and you'll probably find him for $30 to $40 on eBay. But it's worth it. Trust me, this guy's awesome. And then, this guy, he's easier to find than this guy, but not as easy as this guy. But he's easier to find as this guy, and, like, you know, you go to your comic book shop, they probably have them. There's probably hundreds of listings on eBay, but the thing is, he's valued at like $80 to $100. In some places you'll find him for over $300, which is overpriced, but still. So, I don't know. I'd say he's worth it, but at the same time, he's still just a 6-inch figure, to be honest. So, you're probably gonna get the best for your buck from either this guy or this guy. Honestly, as much as I don't like this guy, he's only $12, so I don't know. Why not? Paint job, they're all sort of the same color, if you can see. This guy, though, has some like green highlights on his chest, if you can see that. All their tongues are painted red, but their teeth are like, or no, I'll talk about their claws. These two are sort of close. This one's darker than this. And this one is a really light. I don't really have a preference for claw color. But, yeah, so that's pretty much going to wrap this up. If I had to rank these two, I'd have to make it go third place. I'm going to have to say the Bandai Creation, because even though it's a lot cheaper, it still doesn't have a lot of the qualities that the other two have. Whereas if you look at other Bandai Creation figures like King Caesar, he is actually arguably better than the Bandai Japan. So I'm going to hold this guy to a higher standard and say he gets third place. So for second place, this guy is obviously like top of the notch quality, really like the fine detail, paint job, lots of articulation, but he is $80 and he's not really movie accurate. So I'm gonna have to put him in second place. He's still a fantastic figure, but if you're looking for a movie accurate figure, then you probably don't want him. And obviously in first place it's going to be this guy. I think he has the best balance between pricing, rarity, articulation, movie accuracy, paint job, all that stuff. So if you only have $20 to spend, just go ahead and get this guy. But if you have up to like $40, I would definitely recommend getting this guy instead. He's worth your money a lot more. So yeah, definitely go with him. I'm probably going to only do one more of these videos, but in the meantime, if you enjoyed this video, please hit the thumbs up button, and if you didn't enjoy this video, please hit the thumbs up button, and I will see you guys on my next video.